Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Now, I actually quite enjoyed last weekend where I put out 2 pieces of content on both my channels. One here on Moorlander EDC and one on Moorlander Tactical. And I realised that I'd got another piece just waiting to have exactly the same done. So here on Moorlander EDC we're going to have a look at this battle belt or this duty belt from Deadly Customs, but also on Moorlander Tactical you'll be able to switch over to see how a lot of the attachments, holsters and magazine pouches from Deadly Customs also work perfectly with this belt. Now let's go to the Moorlander EDC thing for a split second and we'll have a look at the belt from Deadly Customs. A few months ago I was talking to the team from Deadly Customs about their new belt because I'd had just seen that they'd released their Olight PL3 holster, and we got talking, shooting a fart about different kind of things in life and everything, and they mentioned about their belts and challenged me. Now there's one thing that we Moorlanders don't back down to. Well, actually there's 2. The first one's badgers, because you should never back down to a badger, but the second one is don't back down to a challenge. So they challenged me to see if I could take a duty belt like this. Now if you've not come across one of these types of duty belts before, these are set up a little bit different to other belts, mainly because of the way that they're set up with an inner core, or I suppose an inner belt and an outer belt. But they threw down the gauntlet and said, we challenge you to see if you could wear this as an everyday belt. So I did. And it worked. You can perfectly wear this as an everyday belt. Don't get me wrong, it's a little bit different to other style belts, but there's no reason that I thought that you couldn't wear it, so I did. Went into the office for a good couple of months with this and nobody went, that's weird Rand, why are you wearing that? But anyway, so let's get back to the belt itself. So it's important to stress at this point, so this generally is a duty belt, or it's something that is a foundation for a battle belt. That's generally what this is for. However, it does still work as a belt in the respect that it's designed to keep your trousers up. In the EDC community generally, as I'm sure you're probably more than aware, we walk around with lots of metal in our pockets that just wants to pull your pants down. So having something that is as rigid as this, and now when I say rigid, so a few weeks back we looked at the Core Essentials belt that is just bomber, and this is exactly the same. So I've alluded to a couple of things so far, and that is that this is constructed from 2 separate belts. So what you have is, on the outer side, you have your outer belt, which I'm just going to put this, actually I'll just hold it here for a second, and then on the inside you have your inner belt. So when you've got stuff on your belt, especially on the outside here, it makes it difficult for you to be able to then pass this through your belt loops, because you've just got stuff hanging off your belt, and you certainly can't do that. So instead, how this works is, so your inner belt, and the belt width on this is a 1.75 inch belt, which is just right for this style, mainly because belt loops on outdoor pants, your kind of tacked pants, tend to be around that 1.75 to 2 inches. So the ones at 1.75, this fits in there perfectly, but also reduces a lot of the kind of the play in there, because it fits in there and just hugs and fits perfectly through there. You don't get as much of that. What it also means as well is that when it's on, you get less fold in the waistline as well. But what happens is this is the part that you thread through your waistbands, or through the loops in your waistbands, and then on the inside here, so it's constructed from this really tough mil-spec nylon, and all of this is completely customizable. So on the website, when you go onto there and you're looking at the different options for you, there's quite a few different colors for your inner belt. And then on the outside of the inner belt you have hook, so you have a loop, and then on the inside you have hook. So as this passes through your belt loops, when it eventually gets to the front, all you have to do then is just press the Velcro together, or the hook and loop together, and that will then stop that undoing. This is the foundation of the belt, and this is really what's there to help to kind of keep your trousers up. But at this point we can then build on top of that. If it is that you're wearing this as a proper belt, or at least how this is intended, then what will then happen is, so as this has then passed through all of those loops, open this up, put it round, and it will sit over the Velcro and the loops themselves. On the inside of here, hopefully you can see if that was in focus then, this is all hook. So on the outside of the belt, which I've just realised I put down on the floor, which I probably shouldn't have put down on the floor, here is your loop, and here are all of your hooks. So this then attaches to that and then closes at the front. So what you just need to do as far as setting this up is concerned, mainly this is the main one that you need to adjust, because as far as putting this on, if it needs to be a little bit shorter, if it needs to be a little bit longer, super easy to do, because it's just that hook and loop, open it, close it to make sure that that's just right. What you will find is with the outer that you'll just need to spend a few minutes the first time you put it on making sure that it is perfectly in the right place, so that as this closes, it closes perfectly at the front. It's not particularly difficult to do, in fact it's very, very easy to do. The end with the female connector on here, this is a sewn loop, so there is no, well, there's no adjustment in here. The end with the male connector, this is a loop that you will then have your extra webbing on here, so that you can then lengthen this or shorten this. Now, I will get back to the buckle in a second, because as I mentioned, this whole process on ordering one of these belts is 100% customizable, from the webbing that it's constructed from as well, which is the same webbing that is used on the inner belt, to the outside paneling on here. So hopefully you'll be able to see here, this has this really nice laser cut PALS webbing on here. I went for Ranger Green mainly because I like Ranger Green. I think it's a good colour and it matches with lots of other things. If I'm out skirmishing with this, then it's great because it matches the vast majority of the pants that I have. But also on the time that I went into the office and wanted to kind of blend in because I'd got this patrol belt on, it just looked like a normal kind of webbing belt. But all of this, as you can see, all the way through here is double stitched to make sure that it is completely on there. It does use an over system, so if you have, did I have it in my pocket? Of course I did, yes. So here is your kind of fairly typical pouch with your kind of molly loops on the back, so it will go over, under and over on the inside there, and it will just make sure that that is secure. So if maybe you've got a multi-tool thing on there that you have to take off every single time you take your belt off, or you have to pass through every single time you remove your belt or not, and it's a belt that you wear every single day, then you can keep that multi-tool fastened to this, especially if it's a multi-tool that has that molly connection on the back. But again, all of this completely customizable. As far as the colors are concerned, they've got a handful of colours, and when I say handful, they've got several different colours, from your black, grey, OD, I think they've got OD green and Ranger Green. I'll double check that and I'll leave that here just in case. Coyote, but then you've also got your different multicams. I think they've got multicam, they've got multicam Tropic, multicam Black, lots of different options. And then when you want to mix that up with some of the other things that you've got on here, you can, as I say, completely customize this. As far as the buckles on the front as well, I believe that there are the two types of buckles. You've got the standard plastic buckle, which just kind of connects in like we've seen on a lot of other kind of things here on Moorlander EDC. Or if you want to go all Gucci on here, you can pick up ones with these Cobra buckles. And these are genuine Cobra buckles. These aren't Chinese meant to look like Cobra buckles. These are the genuine things. In fact, they've got all of the markings on there. They've also got the load bearing markings on there just in case you needed to use this as some sort of rigger belt, but it's all there just in case you need it. Well, these also have, as well as they also have one of these snake bites on. So the way that this works is you pass your webbing over and through again, but there's often that chance that it can slip. It's very rare, and I will say it's almost overbuilt for this belt. The webbing that they use on this is ridiculously grippy. It's not your super smooth seatbelt webbing. Yeah, trust me, this thing is, it's bomber. But anyway, once it's in there and you want to make sure that that is locked into place, you have this Cobra buckle. So it's a snake bite Cobra buckle. It's like what they did there. But yes, so once it's in, you then pop that over it and it just makes sure, so there's no slippage, absolutely no slippage whatsoever. What that does is it bites down on the webbing that's on the inside there. So once it's on, again, you know, it's perfectly on there. If you're new to Cobra buckles, so these are Austria. I think they're designed and made in Austria. And what you have is, so you have a pinch there, and then you have a female end and you have a male end. And you know how science works is generally a male fits into a female and it locks into position. There are load tolerances on here, mainly because if you did want to use this as a rigger belt, then you can rest assured, it's generally in kilonewtons, isn't it? What does it say? I can't read it with my glasses on. Does that say? It says 18 kilonewtons. I think 1 kilonewton is a ton. I'll double check that, but trust me, it's not coming open if you're concerned about that sort of thing. But then with a simple pinch, it opens the jaws on the inside. I do also like, because if I've not shown you this already, so Deadly Customs have their own little kind of skull mascot. So they've had one of their little Deadly Customs skulls laser etched onto the male end here, so that when that fits in, but also here at the end of where the Laser Cut Pals webbing is, on here they also have one of these little skull tabs on there. The marketing or the branding on these belts is super subtle. If you didn't know what the little skull dude was, you certainly really wouldn't know. But getting back to that original point of wearing these together, it is a little bit different, mainly because I'm going to, I'll tell you what, let's. And through the magic of editing, we are now up to date. It's another one of those belts that's very rigid. Although, you know, I'm being able to flex it here. Once it's on fast, and your trousers are definitely not coming down. It's definitely a different experience if you have to nip to the loo for a number 2, mainly because, one, you have to undo your Cobra buckle, but then you also have to undo your hook and loop on the inside as well. It's just a bit different, but if you're after a belt that will keep your trousers up through the zombie apocalypse, through the nuclear apocalypse, so that in 5,000 years time, when the aliens come down and investigate what happened on this stupid planet, this belt will 100% be in the exact same condition it was when you purchased it. I mentioned this on my other channel, so as I've said at the beginning of this, there's 2 pieces of content going live here on Moorlander EDC and also on Moorlander Tactical, but there's definitely a bit of pride holding a piece of this here on Moorlander EDC. I've been, you know, very blessed to have worked with some of the world's leading tactical outdoors kind of gear. And it genuinely is an honour to test out this sort of stuff. Here in the UK, it has that made in the UK stamp of approval, and it's definitely something that I'm certainly proud to be able to showcase here on the channel. Now, I'll leave some links below so that you can see more from Deadly Customs, you can see more from the different belts, and also I'll leave a link to Moorlander Tactical as well so that you can see the other setup that I had on this. I'll leave some of my social media links so that you can see more from me here on Moorlander EDC and my sister account Moorlander Tactical. But for now, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. I'm actually trying to think when it was that... Will it be on my phone? Will it be on my phone? Where's my phone? Oh, my phone's inside. I can't be asked to go and get it. Chicken! 2 months ago? Probably was 2 months ago, because I know before that I was testing that at the belt. Oh, so hot. So hot. Right, where were we? I haven't got a belt on now. I feel like my trousers are falling down because I've got loads of stuff in my pocket. Let's bring this up a wee bit. Just a tad. Just a little bit. It was about 2 months ago that the team at Deadly Customs, I was chatting to them actually on social media. I think it was Facebook. Anyway, whatever. Now, why? Ooh, sure. No, Robin. Mrs. Moorlander's gone away for the weekend. Actually, she's gone away for the week. She's gone to Lanzarote. You know what they say about when the cats... No, I was going to say when the mice are away. I am the mouse. No, that sounded wrong. I am the mouse. I am Spartacus. So yeah, I think we'll be having takeout tonight. Why the frick not? Well, at least this is coming out tomorrow night. So last night I'll have had takeout. So yeah, there you go. A little bit more about me. I am Spartacus. No, I sound a bit too much like... What's his name? I am Voldemort. Harry. Riggedy diggedy. Anyway.